Good evening, friends. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of visiting Haridwar along with my friend and senior from the US Embassy days, Kirti Vasan. Everybody calls him popularly R K Vasan. I call him Kirti because he's a very popular person, very well known for his work, not only at the embassy in the Customs and Border Enforcement program, also immigration and customs enforcement earlier, and before that USA. He spent almost 35, 40 years, knows the embassy and the work like the back of his hand. Importantly, a very religious, very spiritual, and a very kind-hearted person. It was lovely spending the day, in fact, more than the day, almost half the night too with him, starting at 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. in the morning, all the way till almost midnight. And it was lovely. We had gone for something else, but we ended up at the Ghats, eastern Ghat of the Ganga at Haridwar. And I'm talking of the main Ganga, not of Har Ki Pauri, not the upper Ganga canal or the lower Ganga canal. I'm really speaking about the main Ganga itself. As you know, as Ganga rushes down from Rishikesh, once it has become Ganga at Devprayag, which is where Bhagirathi and Alaknanda meet. And Bhagirathi is emerald green, Alaknanda is dirty and muddy because of all the mud and silt it brings from the 5 prayags up, 4 prayags rather, the 5th being Devprayag itself. And from there to Shivpuri on to Rishikesh and then to Haridwar, where there is a barrage which was created originally by the British for irrigation purposes, where the Ganga is divided into 3. The upper Ganga canal, which comes through Roorkee all the way to Ghaziabad, people would have visited Chota Haridwar near Ghaziabad. That's where the upper Ganga canal comes. The lower Ganga canal, which comes towards Bijnor to some extent, and then the main Ganga, because that's where at Gadmukteshwar, where all 3 rivers again, the tributaries or distributaries also come back and join the Ganga, which then flows down further to Kanpur and onwards to Kashi, where the Dakshinavahini Ganga, which is flowing from north to south, actually passes the river and comes back, and that is, it becomes Uttaravahini at Kashi, defying gravity, defying gradient. Scientists have not yet been able to find a solution to that. Why scientific solution? And mythology says that Ganga was caught by Shiva in his jata when Bhagirath did tapa to bring Ganga to wash away the sins of his forefathers, ancestors. And Baba Vishwanath at Kashi, myth says that she forgot about him, went past and suddenly remembered, came back, washed his feet, and then again became Dakshinavahini on to Prayag, where Yamuna and then the hidden Saraswati comes in, and then Ganga Sagar finally where it meets and Padma in Bangladesh now, but originally everything was Ganga Sagar. So Hooghly and Padma, we then go into Ganga Sagar and the delta, and finally the Bay of Bengal. 1/8 of the world's population is supported by the Ganga and its tributaries, and that's something of $8 billion, almost 8 billion people, almost a billion or slightly more. In fact, it would have become more because most population is between India and China, and India is growing faster than China in terms of population growth, though we are also stabilizing. So more than 1/8, maybe 1.5 to 2 billion people are supported by Ganga and its tributaries. I fondly remembered Gange Maam Pahi, a creation of Muthuswami Dikshidhar, my most favorite amongst the holy trinity of composers of Carnatic music, which is Saint Tyagaraja, Shyama Shastri and Dikshidhar. Dikshidhar was actually the youngest and probably lived the least also. And he is named after the Lord Kartikeya Sannidhi or Sanctum Sanctorum in Vaidiswara Koil, which also happens to be our clan temple, or Kula Devam as we call it in Tamil. Muthukumaraswamy, it is said that Ramaswamy Dikshidhar and his spouse prayed hard at Vaidiswara Kovil for progeny, and they were blessed with a baby boy who was immediately named Muthukumaraswamy, named after Lord Kartikeya. Vaidyanatha Swami is the main deity, Balabdika is the presiding mother goddess consort, and Muthukumaraswamy. Ganesha has an idol separate somewhere outside, not in the main prahara, which is where these three are there together. Dikshidhar also went to Kashi, studied under Chidambaranatha Yogi, a great Devi Upasaka, and became a master of Srividya. And once he had learnt all he could learn, and when Chidambaranatha Yogi thought that he had learnt enough for him to now go out into the world, he asked him to go and take a dip in the holy Ganga at Varanasi or Kashi or Banaras. And lo and behold, Dikshidhar, when he comes out with a veena in his hand. And the unique thing about that veena is the yard or the end portion of the veena, which is usually curved down, in his case is curved up like the tail of a swan. Instead of the tail of a dog, which sort of curves down, it's more like a tail of a swan. Or tail of a horse or cow, which curves down, more curved like tail of a dog or more like a swan really. A beautiful instrument. I think it is somewhere there in, I think, Saraswati Mahal Library or the museum in Tanjore. But Dikshidhar also came from Tiruvarur, and which is again very close to the village where I was born, so he's also from the Kaveri belt. So Gange Mapahi in Jinjuti Raga, which is Jinjoti in Hindustan, and because he studied at Varanasi, he has a lot of Hindustani influence, and Khanda Ekatala is his creation. Bombay Jayashree rendered Gange Mampahi beautifully in her album Kashi Kshetra, released by Charsur way back in the late 90s and early 2000s, if I remember correctly. I have a copy, and I think I would have listened to it maybe 5,000 times. The CD has become scratchy. I have listened to it so much. So in that she starts off Gange Mampahi first with a few chosen verses from Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavad Pada's Ganga Stotram, followed by a short tanam, and then the main kriti itself, Gange Mampahi in Raga Jinjuti, which is what I am going to sort of attempt now. And I request your indulgence, given that I am an amateur. I just now actually started learning formally online from an online platform, not from a live guru. I am too ashamed at the age of 56 to sit in front of a live guru. So I am learning from an online platform, but that is what it is. So here you go. I have set the scale to C, which is the online platform scale, so I don't go too much out of scale. I'm going to just try out a little sapasa or humming just to see that I am within scale, since I've already spoken so much. So please kindly bear with पतितोद्धारिणि जाह्नवी गंगे पतितोद्धारिणि जाह्नवी गंगे खंडित मुनिवर मंडित भंगे विश्वजननी हे Bhishma-janani. Ganga is the mother of Bhishma, or Devavrata as he was called earlier, who was the son of Shantanu, and Ganga was his first wife, Satyavati being the second. Bhishma-janani he Munivar Kanye Patita Nivarini Tribhuvanadanye Patita Nivarini Tribhuvanadanye Alakanande Paramanande Kuru Karunamayi Kataravande Kuru Karunamayi. There was no Pandava. It was earlier all was Kuru. Pandavas were an offshoot, a rebel group out of the Kuru clan. Kuru Karunamayi Kataravande. Now why the Ganga? Tava Tata Nikate, who resides next to your ghat. Tavat or your banks. Tava Tata Nikate, Yasya Nivasah, Khalu Vaikunte, Tasya Nivasah. Adi Shankara Bhagavad has equated the banks of the river Ganga anywhere, be it as dirty a place as Kanpur or as clean a place as say Rishikesh, Devprayag or even Devprayag, which is where it becomes the Ganges, or Shivpuri or Bayasi, one of those small towns or hamlets which come before it hits Rishikesh. Wherever it be, the Hooghly or the banks of the Padma, the banks of Ganga are equal to Vaikuntha. Tava tata nikate yasya nivasah khalu vaikunte tasya nivasah varamihamile kamatho meenah kinmatire sharataksheenah varamihanire kamatho meenah Kinvatire Sharatakshina Atasvasvapacho Malinodina Asavanahi Dure Dripati Kulina Jaya Jaya Gange Jaya Hara Gange Jaya Jaya Gange Jaya Hara Gange Jaya Jaya Gange, Jaya Hare Gange, Jaya Jaya Gange, Jaya Hare Gange, Jaya Jaya Gange, Jaya Hare Gange, Ananda. Gange mam pahi, Gange mam pahi, Gange mam pahi, Girisha shirasthite, Gange mam pahi, Girisha shirasthite. Gambhira Gaye. Now he is describing the flow of the Ganges at Varanasi, Kashi, not at Haridwar, where it is still very rapid. So Gambhira Gaye, like slow and steady and seriously. Gambhira Gaye Sangeeta Vadya Priye Gange mam pahi. Now he describes Varanasi itself, and you will understand why Varanasi is called Varanasi. Varanasi is called Varanasi because the city, the main city, the holy part of the city, now it has expanded because of Varanasi Development Authority and all that, bursting population. Varuna Asi Madhye, right in the middle of the Varuna and the Asi Nala. Varuna Nala, Asi Nala. Angajatirthamule Asi Varuna Madhye. Angajatirthamule Asi Varuna Madhye. Now who does penance there at Varanasi? It is the Aghoris. Akrura Pujite Akrura Pujite Akrura Pujite Akhila Jananande. Now everybody goes to Banaras. I am myself going to Varanasi on 6th of March. Akrura Pujite Akhila Jananande. It is said that one sheds this mortal coil at Varanasi. It's moksha, straight. Sakala Tirtha Mule. And why? Not only because of the place itself, the energy of the place itself, but the Ganga, Ma Ganga is flowing right next to Varanasi, 84 ghats. Sakala Tirtha Mule Sadguru Guhalile. Sakala Tirtha Mule Sadguru Guhalile. Now he equates, Dikshidhar now draws from Ganga Stotram of Adi Shankaracharya, Bhagavad Pada. There are many examples. This is one more example. Varajanu Bale, which means Rishi Janhu's daughter. Varajanu Bale, and who did she bless? Vyasadi Kripale, Rishi is like Vyasa. Varajanu Bale, Vyasadi Kripale, Gange Mam Pahi. Akrura Pujite Akhila Jananande. Akrura Pujite Akhila Jananande. Sakala Tirtha Mule Sakala Tirtha Mule Adguru Guhalile. Sakala Tirtha Mule Adguru Guhalile. Vyasadi Kripale Varajanu Bale Vyasadi Kripale Gange Mam Pahi Gange Mam Pahi Gange Mam Pahi.